Hello everyone, my name is MasaeAnela, and I'm sure you guys are all probably wondering where I've been this past week. I was actually at PAX this past week, which was a really fun experience to go to PAX, and this is just gonna be a sort of small little update video showcasing, some of the stuff I was doing at PAX, and I wanted to vlog a little bit, but in the end, I didn't for some reason. I think because my camera wasn't that great, and it was getting kind of old, and at the same time, I just kind of wanted to. I had enough pictures here to make a video about my whole trip to Boston, so let's begin this ride. So on the first day, we kind of went through a little bit of what the convention had to offer and looked at what the convention center had. This was a picture of the convention center itself, which it wasn't really too much, but it kind of, had what it needed to. And also, I apologize if you're going to be hearing, and this is a picture of a lot in this video, but I'm going to use that as a cue to signal for this editing, because otherwise it would be a little bit more difficult to arrange this up here. Now, this was something pretty massive they had there as soon as we entered. It was, I guess, something for Firefall. It looked absolutely gigantic. Like, you can see the scale between me and this thing, and it lit up and it had lots of noise, and it was really cool, I'll say that much. And like the tower in the middle kind of like opened up a little bit. It was a really great thing to have PAX open up with. This was sort of me at a, I guess, random shop on the show floor. They were selling a lot of merchandise, like t-shirts for a lot of popular games. There was some Portal 2 stuff that looked interesting, but I didn't really feel like buying it. Like they had little plushies of Atlas and Peabody, companion cube plushies, which I saw on Saturday. This is all on Friday as well. You can usually tell based on what I'm wearing. I have the Green Gap sweater on for most of my Friday days. If not, then I was wearing a Donkey Kong shirt, which I don't think I showed off at the convention itself. So the next picture was nothing major, just sort of me with a swag bag, street passing, and holding a zombie head from Plants vs. Zombies. I'm actually not really sure where this room was. I'm gonna guess it was somewhere on the show floor. That's where it looked like. Because I can kind of see the bridge up ahead, which was one of the coolest parts of the entire convention. But, yeah. The next one was... this was something that I looked forward to a lot at PAX. This was known as the PAX Pokemon League, where they sort of had a few gym leaders set up everywhere, and, you could do gym battles, and I ran into these three when just leaving the convention center to go get lunch, and I caught up with them like at the food court on the second floor. It was absolutely amazing how fast I was able to catch up to these guys, because like I saw them leaving, I was a little bit behind them, and yeah, so we actually really hurried up and met these guys there, and they were on their lunch break at this time, but it was still really awesome to meet them. I had some really memorable battles, that's for certain. And then after lunch, I believe this is when I went to go to the Street Pass panel, where I ran into Chuggaaconroy and MasaeAnela for the first time. This was sort of me meeting MasaeAnela and some other guy at the same time. There was a couple other pictures I had with MasaeAnela, but none of them I don't really have in possession at the moment. MasaeAnela was absolutely amazing to meet as well, though. She was definitely one of the highlights of the weekend, and I really do look forward to seeing her at some other point at another convention. And this is Chuggaaconroy autographing some person's schedule. I don't know why someone would want that autographed by Chugga, but yeah. This is actually a picture with me and Chuggaaconroy, and you can see MasaeAnela in the background as well. it felt amazing to meet Chugga, and out of all the Let's Players I saw this weekend, he was the one I saw by far the most. I ran into him. I saw him a total of 4 times, counting the Runaway Guys panel. This was the first one. And I didn't even see, with the exception of the Runaway Guys panel, I did not even see, like, Nintendo Capri Sun, Proton John, Josh Jepson, Luca Jin, or hardly anybody. And I remember on Sunday when I was heading to the Who Wants to Be a Nintendo Wear panel, I actually ran into Chuggaaconroy and MasaeAnela just walking up an escalator, which that was pretty cool to meet them again at that point, and I congratulated them on their panel. But now I'm jumping to Sunday, and I'm still on Friday, so I'll go back. I was sort of talking to Chuggaaconroy for a bit, and he also was autographed my 3DS, which was really cool of him to do that, and it definitely deserves someone like Chugga to autograph my 3DS, I'll say that much. This was just something simple of me below a thing that said PAX East 2013 on it. This was actually at the Budokai HD tournament, which I really wish I could have gotten a few more pictures of, but alas I didn't, because I actually saw Blah Blah LPs, PK Sparks, and I believe Coben Armani 456 was there as well. And I didn't say hi to them for some reason. I'm not actually sure why, and I kind of regret it at this point, but oh well. It was really cool to see those guys here, and like it was really cool even seeing the people who were playing Budokai, because I've not really been playing Budokai that long myself, and even the people here have been playing it like their whole lives. Like no one was like, they were competitive, but the friendly type of competitive. They weren't like MLG, like, oh my god, yeah man, I have to do this, I'm doing this, oh my fucking god, I'm carrying your shit like crazy. Sorry about my language there, I just had to kind of get my point across there. You're gonna see a lot of pictures at this place here. This was the Handheld Lounge, which I don't even think I'm in this picture, but there's a lot of gym leaders here. There's a really cool Kagu cosplayer from Okamiden that you can see in this picture. I am in this picture wearing the green sweater as always, with the blue backpack. Playing Pokemon against Riley, which I did actually win my first gym badge at this time. And I have a lot of pictures of this, and I think some of them are even duplicates, but I'm not actually sure. Still playing Pokemon, even still playing Pokemon. Again, this was actually me receiving my gym badge, which I actually lost that coming to the hotel Friday night or some other time. And it's weird because I pinned it to my lanyard and I don't know where it went to. Like, I mean, we didn't even walk that much. We walked to a Subway downtown, like a Subway restaurant, and it must have came off when we were in there, I guess. I don't really know. But Riley was actually really awesome. He was able to remember me, and he gave me a second gym badge on Saturday, so that was really awesome of him. And once again, challenging another gym leader. This one I lost to because I completely forgot about the competitive strategy of Zoroark. This was at the Kirby's Dream Collection tournament, and oh my god, was this a monster to attend. I have never imagined myself playing competitive Kirby 64. I made it to round 4 in this tournament, which is a lot better than I expected to. I made it past all 3 of the Kirby 64 minigames, and I actually was not expecting what happened in round 4 because, you know, it was a Kirby's Dream Collection tournament. I completely forgot Kirby Superstar had 2 minigames as well, and 2 minigames that I kinda suck at. So we were sort of playing Kirby 64 minigames, and it was really competitive, I'll say that much. A lot more competitive than you would have ever expected. Like, at the time when this happened, I didn't even play Kirby 64 since my Let's Play of the game in 2011. And so that was almost 2 years ago when I did play that. And the tournament itself was pretty big. Like, you can see here, there was a lot of people here. It was a 64-player tournament, I'll say that much, but still, it was pretty big. It was a lot of fun, though, I'll say that much. And I was very satisfied that I made it to round 4. So, coming home, coming to the hotel, we sort of saw this again, which I already showed off a picture of that anyway. This is just some sort of stuff at the hotel. I got this mask. I'm not actually sure where I got it, and I think Storage Wars was on at this time. Because I remember at one point I was trying to attempt to vlog anyway, just at the hotel. And I remember making a comment that we were watching Storage Wars. Well, not really watching. It's the thing I don't like, is that I could never find anything good on TV for some reason. We got these masks for some reason. I don't actually remember where we got them. But yeah, we just sort of got these masks, and I don't remember what panel it was, and I'm sorry for just bumping the microphone if I did. This here was just all my swag that I got on Friday. This was just from touring the show floor, visiting by random panels and looking at like what various developers were giving away. It was a lot of stuff, I'll say that much. All this was entirely free. I did not pay a single cent that day with the exception of my food. So, yeah, and I'm also holding up my Chuggaaconroy autographed 3DS. And there's a better picture of it. And the Katamari figure, I also got that from MasaeAnela, which I don't remember where that is, if it even came home or not. I'll have to have a look for it again, but I don't remember where I put that. So, going ahead to Saturday, this shouldn't have been the first picture that I had on Saturday, but I guess it was. This was me finally meeting a Batman and Robin cosplayer, because I actually admittedly saw a lot of Batman cosplayers before even seeing Batman himself here. I even saw a Harley Quinn cosplayer, and I know I'm just getting into the Batman lore here, but of all the villains, like, Harley Quinn of all people before meeting Batman, like, Batman is Batman. Harley Quinn is just no. I'm sorry, but Batman is Batman. This was at the Mr. Dungeon Gates to Infinity Lounge, which, that was a really cool place, I'll say that much. The Mr. Dungeon Lounge, it definitely had a lot going for it. Here's another picture of the Mr. Dungeon Lounge with a giant Pikachu. The Pikachu was absolutely adorable. He was, like, one of the biggest highlights. Lots of people here at the Mr. Dungeon Lounge, they were giving away, like, free copies of Mr. Dungeon, free 3DS XLs, and, like, doing a lot of awesome trivia. It was really cool, and I actually was able to score a copy of Mr. Dungeon 3 as well, and I was really lucky to get that. Unfortunately, as far as I know, I didn't see anything about Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon yet, and I still haven't picked the game up yet, for those who are asking. And now we jump to the Runaway Guys panel, and the very first thing that happened when I got there was that I realized that the people from the crew were actually sitting right behind us. So I was able to meet and make friends with PurpleRodri, Munching Orange, Yoshinomaru, and I unfortunately do not know who is in the red or the black. I really wish I did, but I do not, so I'm sorry, I just don't remember who you are. And Rodri was absolutely an unforgettable guy. Like, he was a really amazing guy to meet. And this was oh my god, this was Josh Jeffson. I may not have met him much this past weekend, but the one time I saw him more than made up for it. Oh my god, this was just hilarious. And the picture itself is absolutely perfect. Oh my god, Josh Jepson, you are... This was hilarious. This was absolutely hilarious. This was Throne Controllers, which was pretty insane. The challenge here was Mario Kart Double Dash, I believe. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Which was actually, I think, a repeat of a challenge from PAX Prime last year. Which I was really surprised to see that, actually. I guess they might have just had so many questions and got lucky enough to get this. I believe this was actually... No, never mind. I was gonna say, I think this was PK Sparks on this, who actually won Throne Controllers this year, which was really exciting to watch. But, no, it wasn't him at this point. Because I remember this person lost. Because one of the guys at the beginning of this ended up getting a blue shell at the very first item box. So that was pretty insane. And... oh, God. This was... once again at Throne Controllers. Yeah, this was at Throne Controllers. If you actually notice who I'm actually up here on, about to go up and ask a question, and yes, I was on Throne Controllers. And if you actually notice who I was up before, I was actually up right after, I know I just contradicted what I just said because of my own errors, but whatever. I was actually up right after MadameWario, so I got to briefly meet MadameWario here, and I actually ran into her sister, and her friends in the hall later on, and you'll see more of that later when we get there. But this was a really cool time meeting MadameWario at this point. Oh god. This was me on Throne Controllers. As you can see, John, Emil, Tim, and Josh up there. And of all things, I actually ended up getting a brutal question, and a brutal one at that. It was, what does Nintendo translate to in English? Which I don't even know what the hell it means. Of all my luck, I picked my favorite number, and it just gives me that. Like, what the hell? So yeah, I was stumped this whole time. Here we have more stuff at the Handheld Lounge. Absolutely insanely busy here, but it was a lot of fun. One of my favorite places at PAX. I really wanted to go to Classic Console free play, but I never got the chance to. And the one time when I met ZMP, which was on Sunday, I didn't have that much time to meet him. So yeah, if I met him earlier, we probably would have gone to Classic Console Lounge, and I would have probably played. I wanted to find an NES and play Mega Man 3, but I'm not even sure if they had it, even though I saw some dude playing Ninja Gaiden at one point, so I'd imagine they probably would. And I really do want to get the 3DS version of Mega Man 3. This was actually some kid at the PAX challenging the PAX Pokemon League, and he was only there Saturday, and I believe he was actually challenging the champion at one point, which was really awesome to me to see that. And he was pretty clever for his age, I'll say that much. I think we have a repeat here. Yeah, it looks like it. This was at the PAX Pokemon Lounge again, and this was during my gym battle against Yellow, and it was one close as hell match, because if I zoom into my 3DS, it was actually my Magnezone versus her Raticate, which was actually surprised that thing did not have Flame Wheel. I really predicted that thing to use Flame Wheel, but apparently she didn't even know it got that, even though I thought that was a common Raticate strategy. And it wasn't even Flame or Guts either. I think it got some sort of ability that she was basing her strategy off of. But yeah, there were a lot of kind of bad plays on her part, but a lot of bad plays on my part. And a lot of bad luck in general, like, I got a really lucky critical against her Pikachu, which completely destroyed that thing. One of the bigger mistakes on her part was with her Almost Star. she decided I guess, I don't know if it would have mattered that much anyway, because I was using a Choice Scarf Flygon against her Omastar, and she just went for the Ice Beam to take out my Flygon, and I was really fearing a Shell Smash, because I feared if it got a Shell Smash, it would be able to outspeed Flygon and just completely destroy my whole team. But she didn't get that up, and it was slower than my following Pokemon, which is a Superior. So I was able to finish that off. But then her Butterfree ended up getting a Quiver Dance off towards the end of the fight. But my not my Magnezone, my Heracross actually survived a Bug Buzz from like less than half HP with 6 HP and Stone Edged her Butterfree and took the thing out in one shot. So that was one of the luckiest things I've ever had happen to me. And this was, like I said earlier, meeting MadameWario, Madame Toadstool, and Little Foo in the hallway completely and randomly. We just sort of like ran into them in the hallway, and then I talked to MadameWario for a bit, for a minute or so, and then this happened. They were really awesome to meet too, like, a lot nicer than I would have honestly expected, because MadameWario is a pretty popular Let's Player, I'll say that much, and she's friends with arguably my favorite Let's Player, which is Slim Kirby, so I was a little disappointed I didn't get to see Slim this year, but ah well. And this was my turret on Sunday morning, which I actually bought that along with a NES controller backpack, which I don't know if I have in any of these pictures yet or not. And yeah, this was kind of depressing that it was the last day, but a lot of stuff also happened too that was pretty interesting. And we have a lot of Enforcers here who are really happy. We got a lot of awesome pictures of these Enforcers. And the Enforcers that were like meandering the hallways, they were pretty awesome. Some of the ones who were actually in charge of panels and who were like in charge of panels and tournaments, they were a little grouchy, but not that much. And I can understand it's probably a pretty big responsibility to look after some stuff, but like the one guy who was in charge of both the tournaments I was at, he was like cursing his ass off. The Budokai tournament especially, oh my god. Like, I'm not even gonna bother repeating, even though I did curse once earlier, although I probably censored it out at this point. And this was the insane lineup at the conventions to get into the convention center on Sunday morning, which is by far the least busiest day. It was pretty wide, I'll say that much, and apparently it didn't even go by. It went by pretty quickly, actually. For this many people, I'm very surprised at that, and I give huge props to PAX Forcers and all that for making this part possible. This was some crazy dude playing Rock Band. Some crazy dudes playing Rock Band. The drummer in the middle with the red hair, he was absolutely insane. I don't know what song this was. He was playing on Expert, and it looked absolutely insane to play on as well. And he got like a 98% in this song, which was absolutely insane. Like, you can clearly see how insane those notes look, but yeah, and it's kind of weird that I didn't really walk by the Rock Band or even like the upstairs food courts much at all. And the upstairs food court was actually really much better than the food court downstairs. Like, on the show floor food court, it was so overpriced. Like, some people said it was like $9 for a turkey leg, whereas upstairs it was like $6. And I got like a full meal for $10 there, which was like a classic hamburger, fries, and a drink, which I must say their brisk there was absolutely amazing too. I don't know if it's just Americans or not, but here in Canada at least, it seems like our brisk is like so much like, it's like a much more lemony taste. Up down there it's a lot sweeter. And yeah, the upstairs food court though, as I was saying though, it was really good. And there was a lot of people there too. Like, I picked up a lot of street passes there, oddly. Anyways, this was actually me, at the Who Wants to Be a Nintendo Wear booth, which was a really excellent thing to be at as well. I was really surprised at this as well. It was a really fun game show. I was in the five whatever it was called, something where it was like the 5 people who win the fastest one, like, would get to go on and actually play the Who Wants to Be a Nintendo Heir. I was selected for the top 5, but I was a bit slower than the person who said it first, even though my answers were correct. My question was like, which of these Wii games came out first, and it was like Wii Sports Resort, Wii Music, Wii Play, and some launch title that I don't remember. I knew Wii Sports Resort was 09, 2 of them were like 08, and yeah. This is me heading back from there. I actually ran into Chuggaaconroy and MasaeAnela before this panel, and that's where they were heading into, was this panel. They only stayed for about half the show, which, like, I ran into them beforehand, and then when I decided to head in there, that's when I sort of ran into them again and realized what they were actually heading to. And I met a ZeldaMetroidPkm at this point as well. So yeah, me and ZMP sort of hung out for the rest of the day, which was pretty interesting. We did a lot of stuff. This was us going to a tag battle. Little did we realize our strategy didn't work, because we didn't without realized we challenged an Ice Master to a tag battle, and ZMP was using a mono dragon team, and my team was weak to my main lead that I really relied on a lot was weak to ice. So yeah, it was quite insane. This was our tag battle here, which was absolutely ridiculous as well. A lot of stuff happened. We would have rematched them if we had more time, but that wasn't quite the case. This was actually really interesting here. This was me and ZMP watching some dude. You can't really see him because he's kind of blocked by the chick wearing the Petey Piranha hat. But there's some dude you can see, and he's actually battling Cynthia. And he had a really good team behind him too. Like, oh god, like he had a lot of really trollish and interesting sets. Like, he had Silk Scarf on an Ambipom that only knew Fake Out and Last Resort, so he could immediately, you know, first turn priority, making the opponent flinch, followed by a move that base 135 power times with the stab and the Silk Scarf on as well. So that was really interesting to see that as a strategy as well. And then, unfortunately, on the last day, well, last couple hours more, like this was the last day, we sort of had to go, and even Turd agrees we wish we were still in Boston, but unfortunately we weren't. And the final picture was me leaving the Air Canada gate at Boston, which I must say, the thing that made my weekend, though, was meeting all the amazing Let's Players. You know, meeting Chuggaaconroy, meeting MasaeAnela, Josh Jepson, TheCrew and PurpleRodri, MadameWario, ZeldaMetroidPkm, PK Sparks, even though I don't have any pictures of him, and just so many others. Like, PAX was so amazing, and I cannot deny, even today when I went to school, it was just so... I was not exactly that fond of school today, because I was feeling tired today, and I really was feeling the kind of sadness that came after PAX, having to say goodbye to everyone, and it's just one of those things, you wish it could last forever, but it doesn't, and it's one of those things that you always want to anticipate for the next time. Now, the unfortunate thing is, I doubt I'll be able to go to PAX Prime this year, but I will for sure be heading to PAX again next year. Unless something absolutely dumb happens beforehand, I will for sure be going out to Boston again next year for PAX East. Because it was such an amazing time, and I really do have to say, I miss almost everybody I met there, and like, it was such a fun time. And I hope to meet even more next year. So, until then, I hope to see you guys at PAX. I hope you guys even remotely consider about going, because I would love to meet you guys. PAX East was just a blast, and I really do hope to meet as many as I did again next year. So, and no, more than I met next year. So, yeah. For now, this has been MasaeAnela, and I'll see you guys next year at PAX East, I guess.